Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and for those of you that are new here, my channel is essentially dedicated to me just giving my thoughts and opinions on movies, sometimes pop culture, and sometimes other things as well. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the new movie Until Dawn. I recently went to go see this movie, and I just thought that I would just give my thoughts on this movie. So, for those of you who don't know what this movie is, it is based on the PlayStation video game of the same name, Until Dawn, and that video game essentially followed a group of, I believe it's teenagers or younger people who went up to a cabin in the mountains, and this cabin ends up being haunted. Essentially, when you play the game, you have to navigate and avoid like the scary things in the game. And so this movie, although it does share a name with the video game, it is not a direct adaptation of that video game. I would say this movie is more like a interpretation, or I would say new spin on the premise of the game. I would say it definitely takes it in an interesting direction, and I do like how the movie adapted elements from the game into the movie. I think that was very well done here, and I did enjoy this movie overall. Now, the cast of this movie is as follows. So firstly, we've got Ella Rubin from The Idea of You. She plays Clover. Clover just so happens to be another character's ex in this movie. The character's name is Max. Clover is Max's ex in this film. We also have Maya Mitchell. She plays a character by the name of Melanie. Melanie is Clover's sister, and she's most notably in Teen Beach Movie and The Fosters. And then we also have Belmont Cameli. He is known for his role in the movie Along the Ride. He plays Abel, who is Nina's boyfriend in this movie. And then we have Michael Cimino. He is most notably in Love, Victor. He plays Max in this movie. Again, Max and Clover used to date. That is established in this movie, so they are exes here. And then I apologize if I mispronounced her name, but we have Odessa Azion. She is most notably in Grand Army. She plays Nina, and again, Nina and Abel are dating in this movie. And then lastly, we have Ji Young Hoo, who is playing a character by the name of Megan. So this movie essentially follows again, very similar premise to the video game. Follows a group of teenagers that go up to a cabin, except in the movie, it's not a cabin. Here it is sort of like an old abandoned house in the woods. They stumble upon this house because they are looking for their friend Clover's dead sister. They are just trying to retrace her steps. Clover's sister, Melanie, is either, I believe she's missing or she's been confirmed dead. But either way, this group is trying to retrace her last steps and really find out what exactly happened to her. And so upon doing that, they stumble upon this old abandoned house. And again, it takes elements of the story right from the video game, and this house turns out to be haunted. Now, again, I'm not going to spoil anything in my review here, but overall, I would have to say that the cast does a really good job in this movie. I think everybody's performance is very well done. Even though this film is not a direct adaptation of the video game, I still think it does a very good job implementing elements and story elements from the video game into this film. Again, it's not a direct adaptation, but it's loosely based on the video game. And I think that they did a good job implementing those elements from the video game here. I like how they tied in some of the creatures from the video game into this film and a lot of the horror elements as well. Another thing that I would say is that this film has really good cinematography. There's this one scene in particular where a character is in the basement of this house, or like in the underground, and there is like a traffic light down there and it's flashing red. When the light turns out, there's this creature down there that's like moving in the dark. As soon as the light turns back on, the creature has like moved to a different spot. I think that scene in particular really struck me because it was really well done. But I would have to say that the cinematography here is really well executed. I think the lighting is on point here, and I really like the horror elements as well. I would say that this film is a little bit gory in some scenes. It does tend to be a little bit gore heavy. So I just want to put that out there for those of you who don't particularly like gore in your horror films. This one does have some gore scenes to it. Now, me personally, I have not played either of the video games in this franchise. I believe there's 2 Until Dawn games, if I'm not mistaken. How I knew what this movie was going to be based on was because I actually, when I was younger, I watched Markiplier do his whole playthrough of this. So that's how I know like what this movie was going to be about. But I would have to say, as far as like an adaptation goes, I think this one was very well done, especially in terms of video video game to movie adaptations. I definitely think that there's far worse out there. And I wouldn't go as far as to say that there's better out there. I would say that this is definitely at the top, especially for it being a horror video game. The horror elements again in this are very well done and well executed. They remain true to the source material. Without saying too much, the end of this movie, I believe it's during the end credits, the end does set up, I believe, a potential sequel that is directly based on that video game. So without giving away too much, I'll just give that away, that if you stay, I believe it's during the credits, that is where they give us a teaser that there can be a potential sequel to this that is directly based on the video game. So I guess this was just their way of like testing the waters, or essentially trying to see if there's enough interest in this franchise to warrant that. But again, overall, I really did like this film. I think it's a really good horror film. I like the, again, horror elements here. I think the cinematography is good, and I really did like the cast of this movie. If I had to rate it, I would say I'm gonna give this film 2 scores actually. So as far as like video game adaptations go, I'm gonna give this film an A, and then as far as like movies overall, I'm probably gonna give this film a B, just because like it wasn't like, it didn't like blow my mind here, essentially, so to speak. It's not a bad film, but like it didn't do anything new for me, if that makes sense. But as far as like, again, video game adaptations, easily an A for this film, right? Like we've seen so many just absolutely awful video game adaptations that I think this one was just very well done and very well executed. And again, even though it's not a direct adaptation of the video game, it is a very good interpretation and incorporates just enough of the right elements from the video game to really warrant it being a good video game adaptation movie. So if you have played the Until Dawn video games, or if you're like me and you've watched other people play these video games, or if you've heard about these video games, or just into horror films, I would definitely recommend checking this film out. It's currently in theaters, and that is going to conclude my thoughts on Until Dawn. As always, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!